In this video I want to look at a problem I've kind of been hinting at and skirting around for a little while, which is this issue with Word versions of assignments. So what I mean by that is if you've created an assignment using a Word file, so a docx file, that you want students to edit or change or whatever it might be, as opposed to one that's been converted into a Google Docs file that we've been looking at as well. Anyway, what I'm starting in here is the student eye view of what's going on here. And I feel like this is a problem that will have a particular impact upon the students as well. If you're not aware of this, they might find this really frustrating. It is definitely worth pointing out though that this is a problem that I've only found actually whilst making these videos. And it may be a problem that when you come to do it yourself, it doesn't exist. Maybe they changed it, they've been made aware of it, and it's solved, but it's definitely worth pointing out, I think. Anyway, I'm going to jump into this Word version of this assignment, and then I'm going to edit the document over here. So this is exactly what a student would do, I think. They go into here, they go into that document there, and then they're going to click up here where it says open with Google Docs. Now what I'm going to do then, once it loads up, there we go, is I'm just going to put in some answers into here. And then done. So I'm going to close that off, click away from that, and turn that in. Now, it's totally understandable and sort of expected that a student will go, well, yeah, why wouldn't that have worked? Nothing strange that they've done there. I'm going to look at the teacher's eye view and see what's happened though. So I'm going to go into my classwork. I'm going to go into the Word version just as we did there, and I'm going to look at my turned in work. So here we expect to go into that student's work and be able to mark that. However, as you can see, one, it's not editable in that form there, is it? I can't do the other things that I could have done with the Google version. It's more of just a preview of what it would look like, but most importantly, what they wrote is not there. Okay, and even if I go into Google Docs like this and let it load up, it's not there still. Okay, now let me explain why that's happening. When the student went into that, so if I show you again here, if we unsubmit this and go through that process again, they've loaded up a preview here of the Word document that we initially uploaded on there. As soon as we click that open with Google Docs, it's converting it into a separate file. It's converting it into the Google Docs version, which is not the one which is shared and the one that the teacher wants to look at. Now there is a way around this. What the student can do is they can go into this little icon at the top where it's got more actions, and they can open it in a new window. And then all of a sudden, if we then go into here, open with Google Docs, the big change here is it says docx there actually. And you'll see by what I'm seeing here, look, I can see me as a teacher editing that document actually. That means we're sharing that same document, so that's worked. If I make a change here, that will now share across to the teacher looking at it. But that is a bit of a extra few steps, isn't it, to make that happen. And if you're trying to teach students how this works, it may be that some don't get that and forget that stage. So I think it's definitely important to point this out, and it's one of the big reasons why I don't yet think that just using the docx version of things like this, so the Word version of it, is yet absolutely perfect. And it's definitely worth the time to just convert it into its Google Docs version and use that, because then you don't have any of these issues. You're using it as Google kind of intended to be used, and that works seamlessly.